Imagine getting your dream job at just 18 years old. The pay is great. Your future looks bright. Your family is proud. And every night, you literally glow in the dark. Sounds magical, right? Except that glow is slowly poisoning your body. This isn't fiction. It's one of the darkest true stories in American history. A story that exposed corporate greed, changed workplace safety forever, and still teaches us one of the most valuable lessons about success. Because sometimes, the opportunity that shines the brightest can hide the biggest risk. Stay until the end because the decision these young women made changed American history, and it might completely change the way you evaluate opportunities in your own life. Let's begin. America, the 1920s. The country was booming. Factories were growing. Technology was advancing. Everyone wanted the future. One of the biggest innovations was something called radium paint. Watch dials painted with radium glowed in complete darkness. To Americans, it looked like magic. To businesses, it looked like unlimited profit. Factories desperately needed workers with steady hands. Young women became the perfect employees. Most were teenagers. Many came from working-class families. For them, this wasn't just another factory job. It was financial freedom. The pay was higher than average. The environment seemed exciting. Everyone wanted in. Here's the strange part. Workers loved the glowing paint. Some painted tiny stars on their nails. Others brushed it onto their clothes before parties. Imagine walking into a dance and literally shining brighter than everyone else. Pretty cool. Until you remember, radioactive materials are probably the worst fashion trend in history. Unfortunately, nobody inside the factory believed they were in danger. Or at least, that's what they were told. Because behind closed doors, the company knew far more than it admitted. And what happened next would become one of America's greatest workplace scandals. To paint tiny numbers on watch dials, workers used a technique called lip, dip, paint. They dipped the brush into glowing paint, then sharpened it with their lips. Again and again, hundreds of times every single day. Managers assured them, it's completely safe. But something didn't make sense. Scientists handling radium wore protective equipment. Factory executives avoided direct contact. Yet the young women, the ones using it constantly, received no protection at all. Question for you. If someone told you something was perfectly safe, would you trust their words or watch their actions? Because actions often reveal the truth long before words do. Soon, the first symptoms appeared. The first seemed harmless. Fatigue, small toothaches, minor pain, nothing unusual. Until teeth began falling out. Jawbones became infected. Bones weakened. Some women suffered fractures without major injuries. Doctors couldn't explain it. Families were terrified. The women had done everything right, worked hard, trusted their employer, followed every instruction. Yet their health continued to collapse. The glowing paint that once symbolized hope had become a silent enemy. And the company, instead of searching for answers, searched for excuses. The companies denied responsibility. Some blamed poor hygiene. Others blamed unrelated illnesses. Anything except the obvious. Internal evidence later showed that concerns about radium's dangers existed, yet the workers were not given the same precautions used by some researchers and specialists. The women weren't just fighting illness anymore. They were fighting powerful corporations. Think about that. Imagine being seriously sick, knowing your employer may have exposed you to harm, and then being told none of it is their fault. That wasn't just unfair. It was devastating. But history often changes because ordinary people refuse to stay silent. And that's exactly what happened next. A small group of workers decided enough was enough. Despite serious illness, they filed lawsuits, not because they expected easy victories, but because they wanted the truth. The odds were stacked against them. Large corporations had money, lawyers, influence. The workers had something different, courage. Each court appearance became bigger than one lawsuit. It became a fight over whether workers deserved honesty and protection. And slowly, The country started paying attention. Newspapers covered the story. Public opinion shifted. Experts began examining the evidence more closely. The women weren't asking for sympathy. They were demanding accountability. Eventually, their legal battles helped drive major improvements in workplace safety and employer responsibility. Their fight became a turning point. The glow disappeared, but their impact never did. And here's the irony. The companies wanted people to forget these women. Instead, history remembers them. So why should someone in 2026 care about a story from a century ago? Because the lesson has nothing to do with glowing watches. It has everything to do with decision-making. Today, danger rarely glows. Sometimes it's a misleading opportunity. Sometimes it's a job that sounds too good to be true. Sometimes it's advice from someone with hidden incentives. The Radium girls remind us of a timeless principle. Never judge an opportunity only by what it promises. Judge it by transparency, evidence, and incentives. The brightest offer isn't always the best one. History rewards people who ask difficult questions. Who benefits? Who bears the risk? What information might be missing? Those questions create better careers, better investments, better relationships, better lives. Think about it. One smart question today can save years of regret tomorrow. That's not fear. That's wisdom. And wisdom compounds. The Radium girls lost far more than anyone should ever lose. But because they refused to remain silent, future generations of workers gained stronger protections. Their story reminds us that real wealth isn't built by chasing every shiny opportunity. It's built by making informed decisions, by thinking independently, by asking better questions, and by protecting what matters most. So next time something seems too perfect, pause, look deeper, because the opportunities worth pursuing don't need deception to look attractive. If you enjoyed this story and want to learn another timeless lesson that can transform your future, click the video appearing on your screen right now. It's about the power of compounding, a principle that has quietly created extraordinary wealth for generations. I'll see you in the next video.